Hi, this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast, where CEOs, COOs, and business owners share better strategies for success. And this is 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best strategies are concise business advice. So we're going to be concise and get right to our guest today. So question number 1, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Louis Navellier. Some folks may know me from my publishing business. I publish a few investment newsletters through a firm called Investor Place Media in Baltimore. And then we have a management company based in Reno, Nevada. It's really a family office of friends and family, but we manage over $1 billion for our family and other clients.
So it sounds like you stay very busy, but very seasoned and experienced executive. So we're glad to have you here and excited to hear some insights from you. So question number 2, tell us what's the best thing about being a business leader?
Well, I think we get to inspire a lot of people. We get to hire, obviously, people from college and kind of mold them the way we like to mold them. In my case, I'm what they call a quant. We use computers to screen and select stocks, but I'm also what they call a fundamental quant. I have to find a fundamental reason why a stock is going up. So Wall Street can be known as a pump and dump place where they just pump things and they forget to have earnings and things. We don't do that at all. We really dig in under the hood and figure out what are the fundamental forces driving the stock higher. It's really called behavioral finance. So I enjoy teaching the kids that. I enjoy, letting everybody know how I like to invest, and those that obviously enjoy what I do, they take our newsletters or they hire us at the management company.
The joy of kind of putting the pieces together, finding the right pieces and putting it all together.
That's right. We kind of run our portfolios like you'd run a sports team. So we grade everything. So we have all these quantitative systems, but if you're on our sports team and you lose a step, I'll probably cut your minutes before I throw you off the team. So that's how we manage portfolios.
Well, great. All right. Question number 3 then. I hear from other business leaders that their people strategy sometimes can be far more complicated and time consuming than their actual business strategy in their business. Your thoughts?
Well, it is challenging managing people. And what I found is that people do change. You could have a perfect employee for 20 years and then they change after 20 years. It could be personal, it could be kids, marriage, addiction problems. So I think it's important to monitor your employees and always have them incentivized. But, you also have to be on the lookout to make sure that they don't make a wrong turn somewhere. And obviously, I'm not their pastor or counselor, but, successful people have a routine. And I think it's very important that people, stick to the routine and do their work. And fortunately, what we do, we're constantly researching, constantly publishing. So as long as everybody stays on the path and the work product we do, it's easier to manage. But yeah, we worry about people and things change. So you have to keep an eye on people.
Very good answer. All right. Question number 4. What strategy would you like to share with other business leaders?
Well, the main one is, it's interesting. I have this publishing business, which is actually larger than my management business, managing $1 billion, because publishing is more efficient because it uses the internet. The management business, due to compliance reasons, is because we're registered with the SEC and all, it's kind of hard to be really active on the internet. And it requires more face-to-face meetings and things like that. So the publishing business actually became much, much bigger than the management business. And in recent years, we've taken the management business and try to make it as internet as efficient as possible. And now it's growing in a more orderly manner. So I would encourage everybody to use the internet as much as they can. I realize a lot of businesses are bricks and mortars and they can't do everything on the internet. But we think that if you can communicate with the internet via podcasts, we have a thing called Market Mail, free market commentary. We think that's very, very important. And so always take advantage of the internet. And so we spend a lot of money in graphic artists and web developers and just being able to communicate. And then we survey everybody that comes to our sites.
And it sounds like even though you've been in business for decades, you're still finding ways to be innovative and take it to the next level kind of thing, never sitting back and
Sure.
status quo kind of thing.
And I think the beauty of the internet is it's probably healthier for you physically to work on the internet, because when you have to travel a lot, it can take a toll on you. And I'm at the age now where I have to get some exercise and do some things. Well, if you're just on the staying in hotels and eating bad food, it's not going to help you. So like we do all kinds of virtual meetings now, and because of COVID, everything got shut down, and I think we're more productive that way. And I'm sure I'll be back on my normal seminar circuit when things get back to normal. But in the meantime, it looks like things have changed for the better. And in fact, in America, we're more productive now. They showed our productivity actually soared after COVID.
Yeah, a lot of businesses that I work with have found a lot more productivity from employees because of, working remotely and, like you said, the internet and things like that. So
yeah, we're not stuck on the freeway anymore. Yeah, that's good.
So question number 5, what other successful business owners, CEOs like yourself, would you like to acknowledge here, or you think would be good on the podcast?
Well, I like great communicators, and I like people who have a passion for what they do. So, when I compare what I do, I tend to use sports analogies the best. So obviously, I admire people like Billy Beane, who devised a better way to manage a baseball team. He figured out the best bang for the buck. Somebody like the Duke basketball coach. I can't say his last name, always mispronounce it, but he's a great leader. Okay. I know when I was in CNBC, I got the chance to interview him. But I like people that are very innovative, kind of create their own little niche on how they do things. And I admire people that do it in a systematic manner. And, one of the interesting things that's happened to us, I think would be an interesting interview for you guys, is the FICO people. They do credit scores. So during the pandemic, believe it or not, our credit scores went up. Okay. And you think that would be shocking with mass unemployment, but the savings rate in America soared, and people are paying down their debt. And I just think it would be interesting to ask them, like, so why are the credit scores going up when unemployment's so high, And I know I just found that to be an interesting anomaly. So, but they have a system to do things the way they do it, and I bet they have a good answer.
That would be very fascinating to hear some of their insights. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can find somebody available.
Yeah. The Wall Street Journal actually had a very good article on that. And I think some of it is there's an underground economy in America. And so some of those people in the underground economy just, they're not tracked on the credit score system, but I find it interesting. The other interesting thing is spending pre-pandemic is back to where it was before the COVID started. So, but we are spending more on goods and services and less on services like restaurants and dining out and travel, things like that.
Well, great answer. All right, question number 6. Just a final fun kind of question. Tell me about your favorite past boss.
Well, I've always been self-employed. I was a banking regulator at one time, and it kind of scarred me for life, because it was when the yield curve was inverted, and we used to take 2 losing financial institutions, and I'd merge them together, and they'd make money when I was done with them. I learned how to amortize assets and help banks look more profitable than they were. I learned also I could never fix cash flow. So if I had to pick a favorite past boss, it would be the cash flow lesson. Businesses can spend money in capital equipment. Sometimes they have accelerated depreciation. Other times they got to stretch it out over a depreciation schedule. But cash flow is king. And that's one of the things I look at when I analyze companies. Another thing I look at is margin expansion. I love margin expansion. Companies that have expanding margins always have their earnings growing faster than sales. So because I'm a quant, my bosses are my favorite fundamental criteria.
That's a very unique answer, but a good answer. I like that. Well, we are about out of time, but enjoyed having you on today. Great hearing your insights. Before we leave, can you tell people how they can reach out to you or get a hold of you?
Now, I would encourage them to get our free research. They can go to navellier.com, and then when you sign on, there'll be a box will pop up to get our market mail, which is our free weekly commentary. And so if you want to buy a stock, key it in our system and see what we say about it. And we rank stocks on A, B, C, D, and F basis. And we wrote a book on how we do it all. It was called The Little Book That Makes You Rich with John Wiley. And that's kind of explains our stock rater database. But it's an important tool to use this as a sounding board before you buy any stock.
Well, great. Again, it's been a pleasure having you on. We are out of time. And this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast. For more insights, you can follow us at Weaver Business Coaching on LinkedIn or listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. And we wish you the best success.